Welcome, everyone, to Wrestling Fans Insight Tuesday Night Chaos, where we love to talk about the past weeks of AEW's hot topics. I'm here with my co-host, William. How you doing, brother?
I'm fantastic. And yourself?
I'm here, there, everywhere, just enjoying life, living the dream. But anywho, we got our co-host with us, Heather. How you doing, chica?
Doing pretty good. Just hanging out. Hoping I have a good week.
We're gonna make sure you have a good week, okay? Damn it.
Okay.
All right, good. We also have Bryan with us. Bryan, how you doing, brother?
Doing good, guys. Ready to talk a little Tuesday Night Chaos.
Sweet. And coming off a nice little co-hosted Twitter space event we just did last night, Carlos, how you doing, brother?
I'm good. That was a great conversation. Thank you, John Cena, for stopping by. No, just kidding.
Great. Here we go. False promises, false finishes. Anything else you like to throw in there for us?
I can do what I want.
There you go. Have to go apologize to everyone. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. This will be my day off, so I'm always in a good mood. The reality is I'll probably be watching either Barbie or Oppenheimer when this gets released. So that's my plans for Tuesday.
Nice.
Barbenheimer, as they call it.
Barbenheimer.
Yeah.
They definitely promoted Barbie very well on last week's NXT, didn't they? Or not NXT, SmackDown. Had both Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton.
Jeez.
Well, I'm just saying, what's the coincidence?
Wow.
I'm just poking the bear. Anyhow, how y'all doing?
Fabulous. All right. You already asked that question. Go ahead. Can we move on?
I know. I just realized that. And
get it together, old man. Come on.
And the love awkward silence y'all just gave me, but oh well.
We're flipping you off in our heads.
Well, I know. So is my wife. So welcome to the crowd. Line it up. As
long as you know your role and shut your mouth, we'll be fine.
Yeah, I shouldn't I?
Oh my God, my prayers came true today. Thank you, Jesus.
Oh, here we go. See that? No love from Carlos. It's always a shit show with him.
I gotta keep you chasing the hug, you know.
It'll be a very long distance hug for the both of us.
Yeah, gotta make you chase the hug.
But overall, Carlos, what was your take on AEW's programming last week?
It was a mixed bag. I mean, I think for me, I feel like an emptiness in my soul because I feel like we didn't get a payoff for the women's, like the whole Outcast. They should have been a blood and guts match, so that kind of left me a little irked. But at the same time, I thought Collision's a really good show. I love the flow of Collision. They're doing a good job of making it feel different. And I even said a tweet out yesterday, it honestly, I close every Saturday. And so it's for me, getting to come home and watch a good wrestling show is kind of it makes it a little more palatable having to work on Saturday night. So, again, overall good week for them. The Ring of Honor, I watched a little bit of it, but they didn't really do a good job of that, building that up. So, AEW has a good talent roster, so it's always going to be good, but I'm just hoping for better. That seems to be the ongoing theme.
So the one thing I do want to give kudos to Tony Khan was the main event of Ring of Honor's pay-per-view
for sure
event over the weekend, where Athena actually had her very first main event for a pay-per-view event. So that was very awesome.
She's doing the best character work, so I'm glad to see her get rewarded. But at the same time, let's not see that on a program that only has 15,000 subscribers. It should be on AEW television
for sure. And I also want to congratulate Willow Nightingale as well, because I think both those ladies very deservingly earned that pay-per-view main event spot. So great job to Willow Nightingale for continuing to become a great worker in the ring. Great job for Athena, especially given how much she's gone through in the wrestling world. So kudos to both of you ladies. Bryan, what did you think of this past week's AEW programming?
Yeah, not bad. I'm excited because in mentioning of Collision, my buddy, shout out to Todd, texted me and he said, hey, on September 9th, AEW Collision, I bought 2 tickets. You're going to come with me. And I'm like, dang, okay. So I like when I get talked in that easily to go into events. But Adam Cole, baby, I mean, that's I'm starting to like this little team up thing. And I know we'll get into it.
Oh dear. Anyways, now, Heather, how did you like this past week's programming?
I liked it. I always thought it was pretty good. Like I said, it was the same thing with WWE. I wasn't able to totally sit down and pay complete attention to it, but what I saw, I thought it was pretty good.
All right, William.
I thought it was a decent week for AEW. The one thing that I'm just absolutely irked about right now is what they're doing with the women's matches. They're not putting enough meat on it. They're not giving them the time they need.
Well, especially for the talent they have.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no reason why they shouldn't be kicking WWE's ass in this particular part of their industry.
I probably would have given it an overall 8 this week had it not been for the women's matches.
Oh, wow.
They had basically one decent women's match out of the whole thing, and then it just knocked it down to a 5 for me.
Oh, wow. 5 for both.
Well, I agree. I agree with him, because I think Britt Baker, she should, they could have gave her a better match, and then it made no sense. I want better for Taya Valkyrie, but you had Sky Blue on this amazing run, and now she gets beat by Taya, who doesn't matter to us anymore because all she's done is loss. I'm with you right there, William. It made no damn sense.
Right, and Statlander only got an 8-minute slot.
Yeah, for the main event.
Yeah, what the hell?
Damn, this should be the William Carlos show from now on.
And that's the bottom line.
Oh, those were some awesome takes there, guys. I appreciate it. So, but yeah, you gave WWE a 3 on Sunday Takedown and AEW a 5. But Carlos even agreed with you on that. So that's pretty big, especially where Carlos is probably the biggest AEW fan out of all of us.
I don't know. I love the shit out of AEW. I said, I've been watching them from day one.
Yeah, we both have. And, they have some good weeks. They have some bad ones, but this one was just kind of solid, like he said. So, but why don't we go ahead and get right into our first topic? Yeah, I sighed too. Adam Cole and MJF end up winning the Blind Eliminator Tag Team Tournament. And
they will do a little dance.
Yeah. They will be facing FTR for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. Not this week, but the following week, right, Carlos?
No, this week on Collision.
Oh, it is this week on Collision?
That's on Collision, yeah. Okay.
So why don't we go ahead and start with Carlos on this since he's already mic'd up.
So again, I thought this. I kind of agree. Bryan Alvarez has been a proponent on this. Don't break these guys up. If you look at AEW Shop, their shirt is their #1 seller for the year. So fans are into this. I love it. To me, I was really entertained by the dance off thing. I love Daniel Garcia. He's like the hidden MVP of AEW wrestling. I loved it. I thought it was really, really good. I didn't like the scene so much of the first part, but the whole match, the whole dance off was really good. I just, to me, this is kind of what you want to see AEW do more of is sports entertainment. And to everybody who doesn't think that casuals matter, let me just tell you, from the questions that we've been doing on Twitter, you want casual wrestling fans, because there's a lot of casual wrestling fans that are just coming into our questions because they want to live off that nostalgia. A lot of people, they don't know how to spell the wrestlers' names right, or they don't know what a real gimmick is compared to a wrestler's true kind of persona versus the gimmick. But at the same time, people are engaged, so you want to cater to those casual fans, and this is definitely something that does that. I love it. I'd be okay if they take the belts from FTR if it means we're going to get an FTR heel turn. But overall, yeah, it's good stuff. I'm enjoying it, and I don't want to see it end.
Heather?
I think it's funny. Like the whole dance off thing. I was just, oh yeah, I was laughing the whole time the way they were dancing and stuff. And I thought it was cool that with the theme song mashup when they came out. But yeah, I mean, it's just funny, seeing MJF like being the good guy or whatever. And then he did the dive and then the double clothesline thing. And I don't know, it's just interesting to see. But no, I don't want them to get the belts. I don't think that would be a good thing. But yeah, I just enjoy it. I just think it's funny.
Bryan?
It's grown on me, right? Like when they first started the tournament, I, didn't want them to do the awkward buddy team up thing. And we all know it's on borrowed time, right? Obviously, they're going to end up feuding. But it has enjoyed, I have enjoyed the short ride on this one. And I'm just like, you know what? Let me just be entertained for the next couple weeks and kind of see where it goes.
All right, sir, you're up.
Okay. Well, let me start off with no, I actually have not enjoyed this whole thing. The dance off thing really, really threw me off. Just the only reason that wasn't enjoyable for me is it just kind of reminds me of some of the ridiculous stuff that WWE has done over the years. I think it was a good idea to do something like that. I just didn't like that segment. The other thing about this whole team up, I find it absolutely creepy to see MJF smiling that much.
Just the smiling?
Yeah.
I think high-fiving the fans, too, after he just threw water at a little kid.
Yeah. I mean, as devious as he is.
Tequila. What are you talking about? Water.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Tequila. let me throw the air quotes. Tequila.
Yeah, just
yeah.
As devious as he is, it's not playing well for me.
The only thing I have a problem with is why you have your world champion, who should be a feature for your company, playing in the mid-card level. I get it. It's going to eventually lead to Adam Cole getting a world title shot, because we all saw the little bit of distraughtness from MJF while Adam Cole was holding the belt, looking at the championship. I don't think FTR is losing the championships to this guy. I think this is where we start to see the actual meat and potatoes of Adam Cole finally getting that AEW world title shot against MJF. I don't know. It's weird. It can go any direction here, but the real mud in the path here is Roderick Strong. So is this going to destroy Adam Cole's friendship with Roderick Strong? Or who knows? Maybe it's something that Adam Cole's had something built up for a while. He's just trying to torment MJF with this whole deal. Who knows? It's going to be interesting to see where the end of the road for this little saga.
Strong gets the ring.
Yeah. Or Strong gets the title shot. That would be really interesting to see that one. But while we go ahead and move on to the next topic, our thoughts on the Blood and Guts match that just happened on last week's AEW Dynamite. While we start off with Heather on this.
That match was fucking wild, man. The bed of nails and okay, Moxley is just a freaking psychopath. Like, we already knew he was crazy and everything, but when he pulled that bed of nails out, I was like, what the fuck? What are you doing? And just yeah, that match was crazy. And I think they just did a little bit too much, but yeah. And then with Pac and oh God, who was the other one that walked off? Takeshita. Yeah, when they both walked off and everything, that was just kind of weird. And then Mox got handcuffed and everything. But I already knew, the Golden Elite was going to win, because just that way they could win the respect, of the BCC and everything. I mean, I thought the match was okay, but I just think they kind of overdid everything. But what do you expect? There's blood and guts, But yeah, Mox is just a psychopath. So.
By the way, big shout out to those of you complaining about blood being in a blood and guts match. Big clap for you guys. Anyways, I don't know if anyone sensed my sarcasm in that because nothing Carlos or Brian, but Carlos, what's your thoughts on the blood and guts match?
I thought it was really well done. I mean, it was to me, like I like Kenny starting off. I think Kenny Omega is the wrestler of the year. From his 2 matches with Ospreay, going to fight Vikingo in Mexico, and being out there for an hour. Are you freaking kidding me? Coming out, he could just be resting his laurels off those matches already, but the man just keeps coming. His match with Wheeler Yuta as well. I thought it was really well done. I love the storytelling because it allowed some finality to the feud. I think Don Callis, exiting, making sure that protecting his investment. I like Pac leaving too because I like Pac. I want to see Pac stay with the Death Triangle. So I just thought I think it was just good. And I think it's kind of like it gives those blurred lines, kind of like that tweeners of AEW. And to me, if that means the Blackpool Combat Club is going to go back to being faces or again being tween, I'm fine with just being tweeners. I just like the whole thing, Moxley, having to give the call for Wheeler Yuta. It was Wheeler Yuta's time to pay his receipt for getting the pin on Kenny in the main event. I thought it was just really well done. With all the weapons, it was okay for me. Again, just kudos to them. I was hoping for some more out of Kota Ibushi, but at the same time, it was a really well done. It was really well done story that was well told. And again, I love the ending of it as well. I thought it was good storytelling, which again, people don't think AEW does storytelling, but they do. So again, just well done all around.
Brian?
Yeah, I'm going to echo it. I am always a fan of Kenny Omega's work. I always feel like he can fit into pretty much any situation with anybody in that company, and he somehow has a way to run a program with them. I do think that Blackpool Combat Club does do better as that in-between group, not necessarily heel or face. And this match overall, what's not to like? Blood, weapons, cage. And keep in mind, this is just weekly TV programming. This was not like a pay-per-view or anything like that. So, I mean, when's the last time we've seen like something like that on a weekly programming? And some people, they say, oh, you shouldn't give that away on free TV. I can hear that argument. But I did enjoy what they gave us.
William?
Yep. I thought it was an amazingly brutal, beautiful match. It was well put together. I too, like Carlos, I enjoyed Pac turning and Takeshita walking out. I think they made the right call with this whole thing. The one thing I will say is, boy, did we mess up on our predictions, didn't we?
Yeah, because I think we all predicted Blackpool Combat Club. Did anyone pick the Elite?
No.
Brian, was Brian with us last week? I
No.
can't remember. Oh, no. So,
Nope.
yeah.
So I technically did not get it wrong. So
Yeah, he's going to pull the Adam Cole, and who was the other guy? Shit. I lost track who it was that was supposed to be on that last pay-per-view where Adam Cole had to.
Tom Lawler, right?
Tom Lawler. Yeah. Yeah. Technically.
Yeah, Brian's trying to get the cheap victory there because Adam Cole couldn't show
right. I'm taking the Bobby the Brain Heenan approach.
Well, I hate to tell you this, Carlos still kicked your ass even with that.
Woo!
But anyways, yeah, I thought Blood and Guts, that was actually a very entertaining match. Although I wish they would use some different objects other than damn fork or a screwdriver, something, I mean, there was enough in there that they didn't need that.
You didn't like the sugar glass?
The glass I actually didn't mind, but one thing I have to give a shout out to my wife on is, we watched GCW a couple of weekends ago, and she goes, "Oh my God, they're still using fluorescent lights." Which,
jeez, that's all they do.
yeah. I mean, I'm just sitting there thinking, one, how good those light bulbs could probably still be if they were used properly, and but two, she said the minute she starts seeing AEW use those, she might be done watching AEW. Said, well, no, you won't, because we're going on the Chris Jericho cruise, so you're screwed. So, anyways, but
brag about the cruise.
Yeah,
I know. Way to throw it in your brother's face. But I saw that he got you a ticket to. I saw he got you a ticket to SmackDown, so that was nice of him.
It was actually Raw, but
Oh, he's getting
it's a
paid
little
for
raw.
that ticket.
Nice little consolation prize.
He's getting paid for that ticket.
you know what? I'm gonna make sure Will's invited for the 2025 Chris Jericho cruise. So there's
And watch, I'm just gonna turn around and be like, nah.
yeah, he'll be like, "Fuck off." Anyhow, while we move on to the next topic, and this was a sad one because this happened last night on as of this recording, at the day we recording, this happened on Saturday night's show Collision. We saw the ending of the Trios Tag Team Championships where House of Black successfully defended against Acclaimed and Daddy Ass. And post match, we saw Daddy Ass, Billy Gunn, unlace his boots and leave him in the ring and take off to the back, which usually that's a sign that he's retiring. I really hope that's not the case and it's just developing a storyline where maybe he's either going heel or joining House of Black or something. But usually in this case, it's a sign of retirement. What's your thoughts on that, William?
Honestly, I kind of think it is a proper time for him to go. Whatever his reasoning may be, and we may not know anything about it, but I think a lot of wrestlers just push it way too far on the age.
Yeah, I mean, he's, I think, in his late 50s.
Yeah.
Very soon to be 60, I believe, actually.
Yeah, I mean, take a look at Mark Calloway. He waited way too damn long.
Well, in fairness to Mark Calloway, though, he got to a point where he just mainly wrestled WrestleMania and did a one-off in between the WrestleManias. So
yeah, and that still kicked his ass.
It did. Why don't we go to Bryan on the take of Billy Gunn possibly retiring?
Yeah, I think, it might be the perfect time for him. I want to say, I've been impressed in the last couple years. The guy stays in shape. I mean, he is jacked, and I'm just like, man, I hope when I'm that age that I can have that kind of a physique. But ultimately, he, was not an embarrassment in the ring. He was able to maintain. He was able to help elevate a very young, talented tag team that we might not even have been all drawn in onto the Acclaim without some of that, buzz that he got from them. And then, I think he's going out at a good time. If that is the case, it doesn't mean he's leaving pro wrestling. I'm sure he will be very influential backstage, help with some training, maybe be a road agent. So, I mean, he's going to have value for the business overall still, even though it is not in the ring.
Heather?
When I saw him taking his boots off, I was like, no, it's like, really? Because I couldn't believe it. And then, I saw that the Malachi, he had given him like a sign of respect and everything, and so did Buddy Matthews. And I was just like, wow, is he really retiring? And because I was just like, him taking the boots off, because I was like, that is really, that's supposed to be, the sign of retiring. And I mean, I guess, I really, kind of didn't really want him to retire, but, I guess like y'all were saying, maybe it is time, because he really has had, a nice long career and he's done good. And like, with the Acclaimed, I really enjoyed the things that he's done with the Acclaimed and everything. And I've noticed, that his sons have, made comments and stuff about him retiring. So, it might just be, that he really is retired, but he's had a good long career and, maybe it just is time.
Carlos?
Oh man. So in case anyone doesn't know, like the Acclaim are like my favorite act in AEW. I mean, Brian Cage too. And I mean, I love, like these guys. But I mean, I've been watching these guys since they're on AEW Dark. I fell in love with them right away. I think Max Caster might play for both teams. That's my assumptions. And then of course, Anthony Bones is a proud gay man. So, and just the way Max Caster would act, like I was as a proud member of the gay community, LGBT community. They're just an act that I love, and seeing them, like when they first started, like Tony Khan told Max Caster to stop the scissoring, and and then they kind of fought to keep it going, and they got it over, and especially when they got paired with the Guns for a while, and they made the whole daddy ass thing go. And and just to see how much they rose, you know, getting to get the tag titles on them with the help of the daddy ass. I hope it's storyline. You know, I'm not ready to see them break up yet. Because I don't want to see this. I just don't want to see it end. I mean, if that's his choice, it is. But I think it was good storytelling too, because even the announcers kind of like said, "What do they whisper to him?" You know, if it was a sign of respect thing, and if he was retiring, I would want it more of an ending with him and Max Caster and Anthony Bowens in the middle of the circle. But I just don't want to, and I want to see Anthony Bowens and Max Caster make money, and I don't want to see, and Billy Gunn for that sake too. So I'm hoping it's not the end. I want to see them. I want to see, you know, Scissor Me Daddy Ass keep being a thing. I don't want to see him break up with the Acclaim because they're one of the most over acts in AEW. So I really hope that this is just a storyline. But if it is the end, I mean, thank you for what you did for the Acclaim. Thank you for what you did to just kind of make, you know, having fun with the LGBT community more fun and be a thing, you know, especially after Billy, even what he did with Billy and Chuck, you know. I'm really appreciative of his talent and what he's done for with act and making them a top act. And I just really hope it isn't the end.
All right. Yeah, and we're going to go ahead and hit our last topic. We keep seeing Miro on Collision, and so far it's been really good for him. Unfortunately, they've mostly been dominant matches for him, like quick dominant matches, except this one. Kind of came off where Nick Camarado started off a little strong, but in the end, Miro fought back and got him to submit. However, do you think we're eventually going to see any progress with Miro for his AEW career? And why don't we start off with Bryan on this one?
Yeah. So the question is do I think there is, or do I want there to be? Do I want there to be? Yes. Do I think there is? I'm skeptical because I do think there was a genuine interest, and I have noticed a pattern with AEW that, and kudos to them, they don't push the previous WWE stars like unless they were already like a top tier talent, like a Jericho or a Moxley, guys like that came in. The Miros, the Christian Cages, the guys that were kind of in that upper middle echelon, they didn't push them straight away to the title, and I actually applaud them for that because you want to make them look like they have to earn it. And I do think that Miro does have the potential to be an AEW champion and get a push, and it's going to be a very strong, multiple win streak. But I do believe that he might have hurt his chances a while ago, because I know there was some things that his wife said a while back. It was like, oh, he's going to go back to WWE anyway, or something along those lines. And then when Vince came back, that kind of simmered down, and I was a little bit fearful of, okay, did they just play, show his hand a little too much to where maybe Tony might not push him? So that's kind of my take.
Carlos?
Well, Bryan stole my answer. I think I was starting to think that when he said that. I think with Miro, first of all, I like this better. I was really impressed with this week's Collision. I like that they didn't use it an enhancement talent for him today. I like that they brought out Nick Camarado, who I think, I like his work. He's a good body guy. I like the way the whole match was done, and I mean, he's really over. So I hope we get to see it, but I just don't. I feel like Tony Khan sees Miro as one of those guys that maybe now that Triple H is back, he thinks maybe when his contract's up but is up, he's going to go back to WWE. So he doesn't really want to push him to the moon. I don't know, but at the same time, like, you have the guy signed for 4 more years. I think it is. Utilize the guy. I hope for better for him. Again, like, he's really over. I want to say yes, but I just see him not ever getting that shot, because unfortunately there's such a big roster. They're not going to, but at the same time, if you're not going to utilize him in AEW, make him the Ring of Honor champion. Tony, Claudia doesn't need that title. I think he's making a mistake not to utilize him, but I think Bryan hit it on point, or whatever. I can't remember. He's like fluctuating right now. I think Tony Khan just doesn't want to push him because he doesn't trust him anymore, because he thinks he's going to go back to WWE again. If we're talking about LA Knight's backstage politics, with Miro, he turned down creative, so I just don't think that he necessarily trusts him to push him to the moon anymore, and I think that's unfortunate. And I think it's a loss for the fans.
Heather, what's your take on Miro possibly progressing?
Well, I was glad, to see him come back because, he had been gone for so long. And it's good, to see him getting his matches and everything. But I'm really not sure where it's going to go. Because, the same points as they're trying to make, but does they're make it? But I don't know. I really, to be honest, I don't see him getting a great big push. I think, they're kind of pushing it off right now because he has just come back and everything, and they're just kind of doing like doing what they're doing, like giving his matches, pushing forward. But I don't see it like maybe going into no long term big push.
Yeah. I think eventually we do see a push, but I see it being more towards the end of the contract. Like Bryan, I am skeptical about the whole thing. It reminds me of an LA Knight situation at this point.
Too late, too long,
Yeah.
too little.
Yep.
Yeah, I think ever since they brought him, obviously it was more of a kind of tell WWE to F off because we signed another talent that you should have had booked properly, but they in fact themselves didn't book Miro properly. This should be a guy who should be a contender for either the TNT championship, even though he has been a former TNT champion. Unfortunately, lost it to Sammy Guevara of all people. But then after he loses that championship, he hasn't really been a real viable contender for the AEW World Championship, where he really should have been kind of in that hunt already, and they've had nothing for him.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't get where they dropped the ball with this guy. But again, this is where Tony Khan needs a creative team to write the scripts for him, because obviously he's not seeing the entire picture of his roster.
Yep.
And that's where you've mentioned before, the women on his roster are not getting the time either. It's, it's kind of a shit show at the moment for him.
And honestly, it's a freaking crime given the amount of talent they have.
We mentioned this on Sunday Takedown. If anyone has a division that should be worthy to have women's tag team championships, it should be AEW. They've got the proper talent to build it really good, and they're just not doing the women any justice.
If I was to push Miro or any other big guy in AEW right now, I would make him the monster killer. I would have him take down the Powerhouse Hobbs, the Wardlows, the Lance Archers, the Brian Cages. Sorry, Carlos. I would have him go and dominate every single big man to make the clear established, make him ahead of the pack. If you really wanted to go hard and heavy with him or anybody of that nature.
Well, and Miro should be AEW's Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Because he's a great promo. Like, he's so good at the promo too. I get that, you have nothing to lose by pushing him to the moon. And if he does want to go back to WWE, then you make him do the honors when he leaves. You use him to put someone else over. It's not complicated. I feel like maybe like Tony Khan's just using it as an excuse, as like, oh great, that's one less guy I got to worry about. But I do like the fact at least they're using him to make Collision feel like a different show than Dynamite. But again, it's a waste. And the same thing with Brian Cage too. Like I wouldn't mind seeing him go over on Brian Cage. I mean, again, utilize them both. Like, that could be a great feud. I'd be all for that too.
All right. Do you have any more on that, Will, or do you have any other final thoughts?
No, I do not.
Brian?
No, I'm good. Thank you, guys.
Carlos?
A final thought really quick to you guys. I wanted to go, like, what did you guys think about Ricky Stark's heel turn? Are you guys liking it so far?
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't like the way it
or
was
did the
done.
wrong person, they should the wrong person turn heel still.
I would have made Punk the heel, to be honest.
Yeah.
You could see Ricky's still over with the fans.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm the same narrative as those guys. He's very over, but he's not over enough to where it would be like a Hulk Hogan heel turn, where you'd be like, oh my God, right? Like, so, I mean, yeah, it kind of happened, but, I'm just like, all right, I think Punk would have been the better choice.
To me, this heel turn was cringe.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's just wrong timing. They didn't have any real build up for it.
Yeah, I think we're going to know her thoughts, but Heather, did you have any thoughts on Ricky Stark's heel turn?
I think it was really stupid. I don't think they should have done. I mean, really, it just. I mean, it came out of nowhere. Like, I just don't think it was right. Not at this time, because the fans were like really behind him and everything. It's like, I just don't think, why. I just no.
It's just really hard to take Ricky Stark's serious as a heel. I'm sorry. I mean, especially when he's out there still pandering to the fans with his theme song,
That, and he come out there in the best material he could deliver, was about his clothing.
Yeah. I mean, this is kind of like
His bag.
it's kind of like the Rock era when he had the Nation of Domination. He started doing all those weird
Oh my god,
stunts.
He's not the Rock. He's the Pebble.
How dare
Ricky
you.
Starks is the Pebble.
Wow.
He's the Pebbles champion.
I thought that was John Cena.
Another quick take for you guys. What do you guys think about? What do you guys? And again, this goes back to like the wrong person turn heel. What do you think about CM Punk with his red bag and claim that he's the real world champion?
I think he's got a viable argument. He technically was not beaten for it.
And he never really got a rematch. So
I personally love it, and I think it leads to a match down the road with his greatest AEW rival, which is MJF. So I love this idea.
Heather?
I don't like CM Punk.
All right.
I-
That was easy enough.
Keep it simple.
I hate that he came back. I've been hating just hearing him talk. I can't stand it. And I hate it. I hate it.
I feel like he thinks he's John Cena. Like, I think he thinks that he's getting booed because out of aberration, just because it's the fun thing to do. No, Punk, they're booing you because they hate your ass. like you're not John Cena.
Well, and that's part of the problem is we're seeing a recycled storyline between Punk and Cena, but now with MJF and CM Punk.
Yeah.
And the problem is you have the same common denominator between the two. CM Punk has been involved in both of them. I just don't think that storyline is going to go over very well. I would not brought up the AEW World Championship, especially if you're going to try to make Collision feel like a different show. I just don't know how it's going to play so well when it comes to that part, having MJF and CM Punk go at it.
yeah, I think they'd better be better off just making a brand title for that show.
I mean, I have my question for you. Yes, my next. Do you think that's what they're leading to, William? That they're going to make because if CM Punk's world champion, he can't go on Dynamite. So what's the point of that? Do you think they're going to go towards making a champion for the show?
I do.
I think
yeah.
I don't know. That's going to be weird because with MJF and Adam Cole appearing on Collision to face FTR for the World Tag Team Championship, and who knows, we may see CM Punk get involved in that too to go make a direct statement to MJF.
Let the wheels start turning. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, we could be seeing a lot of possibilities right there. So,
yep.
And I don't know if that's what you were trying to allude to, Carlos, but that's something that just barely actually really popped into my mind just now.
No, it was something that I thought about too. And again, for me, if Ricky Starks requested to go heel, then I respect that because I do like him as a heel. But for me, it's just one of those things where again, like this is going to make people hate CM Punk. Like you turn the wrong person heel. I'm definitely tuning in. I mean, I'm intrigued by it, but I feel like again, he needs to realize sooner or later he needs to be a damn heel.
For sure.
Quit chasing the hug.
No. Good takes there, Carlos. Heather, do you have any final thoughts on AEW for the week?
No, I don't. Just John Moxley is a psychopath, and I can't stand CM Punk.
She loves it.
And
she wants to taste your blood, Mox.
She's in heaven now. Watch out for days like that. Alrighty. Well, that being said, why don't we go ahead and get into our top 5? I know Brian more than likely doesn't have one, so we'll just go ahead and skip to Carlos.
So my top 5 is number 5 is Adam Cole and MJF. Number 4 is Ricky Starks. Number 3 is Action Flight versus the Bullet Club or the Bang Bang Boys, whatever they call themselves now. Let's just go to Pornhub and call it over.
Bang Bros.
Bang Bros. Number 2 was that they start riding in a van again. They're stealing from Drew and Sheamus, but might as well just go with it. Number 2 was Athena and Willow Nightingale, and number 1 was the Blood and Guts, the Golden Elite versus the BCC and Friends.
Yeah, and I'm gonna assume Heather doesn't have a top 5.
John Moxley.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say.
All right, that was an easy filler, William.
Yeah. Number 5, House of Black. Number 4, Taya Valkyrie. Number 3, Bullet Club. Number 2, Ricky and Christian versus Darby and CM Punk. And of course, number 1 had to be Blood and Guts.
Oh, wow. Interesting. So my number 5, which I'm surprised no one mentioned, Jack Perry winning the FTW championship.
He was almost there, but I went with Ricky instead.
Oh, so I see. He was at the bottom pile.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
He would have been number 6.
Oh, dear Lord. My number 4 goes to Bullet Club Gold, Bang Bang Boys. My number 3 goes to My number 3 goes to the Royal Rampage event, which Darby Allin won. Number 2 goes to the Blind Eliminator Tag Team Tournament final. It was a fantastic match between Adam Cole and MJF against Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara. Minus the dance skit. We could have done without that part, but
thank you.
Overall, that was great.
Thank you.
And of course, my number 1 definitely went to the Blood and Guts match. I thought it was choreographed perfectly for that night, so great job on that. And why don't we get right into our shout outs? Why don't we start off with the lovely Miss Heather on who she wants to recognize?
I guess just the same ones, NWO Machine, Bayer from Wish, Obey Jess 925, and there's just everybody, that listens to the show, the podcast, and then all y'all, y'all just doing excellent with your questions and just getting the interactions. And I'm sorry I can't help, like, the questions I did just blocked, but y'all are superstars, and I love all y'all, and y'all are just excellent.
No, it's
if anything, just answer our questions and retweet them. That's helping.
I have been. That's what I've been doing.
That's all you got to do, girl.
She's been on all over us, so
What's new? I mean, God, the girls can't leave me alone.
Pretty fly for a gay guy.
Exactly.
Brian, do you have any shout outs to give?
Let's see. You guys got me on Twitter stuff now. So yeah, Heather, the question thing, it's a work in progress as always. And, I think I said the other day, it doesn't matter who shoots the shot on the team as long as we're scoring. So, and on that note, score and shout out to everybody in our Twitter community and to our new Sage Network partners. And I know there's so many more, but you guys all know who you are when I say thank you.
Carlos?
I just want to give a quick shout out to this SCU community. It goes with a lot of those guys on Twitter doing our questions. Again, just a shout out to the Sage Network again. Quick shout out to Ted the Hillbilly Hill. And also I want to shout out also to Nasty Leroy, who's been joining our spaces and giving a lot of insight and really shouting out the independent wrestling community. Also just the independent wrestling community. Again, a shout out to all you guys. Keep doing what you do. And then just a special friend, the 87.9 WKMU radio podcast. You can catch them on Good Pods. They recently just joined us, gave some good critiques for what we could be doing to help further us and get the casual wrestling fans listening to our podcast. So again, just looking to keep build a community of just supporting each other and seeing each other succeed and helping everybody eat. Thank you guys.
Yeah. I want to give my shout out to, of course, like always, all the fans and again to our team.
All right, easy enough. And to kind of echo.
What are you calling
Carlos-
easy? I'm sorry.
Hey, well, I don't know. You've been pretty easy there.
Okay, we're gonna stop that.
But speaking of spaces, Carlos is going to be hosting one tomorrow night there at the.
Yes.
You're looking about the last hour and a half of
I,
Dynamite, right?
the last half hour Dynamite. So we'll just come in, kind of do a watch along for the main event. We can just talk about Dynamite and anything else that happens, but just please come join us. It's a positive space to just talk about wrestling. This is hopefully going to be more geared towards AEW. But yeah, please join us. Again, we're only successful if we have people supporting us. So appreciate you and thank you in advance.
All right. Yeah, definitely show up for his space. I may not be there until
you better
very
be there.
end if I am able to show up, but I hope it goes really well for you, Carlos.
Thank you.
I want to give a bit super shout out to the Saged Up Network. We have recently joined and teamed up with them on getting our Twitter engagement going and growing our audience. So thank you to Sage Alvarez for welcoming our platform to your network. Also, big shout out to Ted the Hillbilly Hill. He's done a really marvelous job interacting with us off Twitter, so we appreciate it. Also, want a big shout out to Austin Boyer, the Wrestling World, Jim Plotner over at Fan in the Van. It's a Bad Take podcast, Steel Till Talk, Two Dudes Sports News, Brutally Honest, Nate's Daily Wager, and today we laughed and learned Chris and Deb, who does a wonderful job each week. Definitely teaching us some things, but also having some great laughs with every episode they do. And I know I keep saying but I also want to throw out the Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, Ken, Mr. Gentleman. He does a phenomenal job with his podcast. Very well done. And that's it for me this week. So, well, we give a big thank you to StreamYard and Spotify for podcasters on becoming our platform and home to creating and hosting the latest episodes of the Wrestling Fans Insight. They've made it possible to listen to our show on Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Google Pods, and more.
If you happen to like our show, we would appreciate a 5-star review, and if possible, leave us a review for us to read on the air for our future recordings.
Feel free to go to our website, www.wrestlingfansinsight.com, and subscribe and get notified of our latest releases. You will also be able to find our show links on our website to your favorite audio listening platform.
You can interact with us in many ways. We have a Facebook group called The Fans of Pro Wrestling, or on Twitter. I'm at William Hoppe 8. John?
At WF Insight Podcast. Heather?
It's at Bama Girl _4 EVA.
And?
Bow tie bitches.
There we go.
Yeah.
Carlos?
At C to the LOS 77. At Conquer the No is my nonprofit. And then on the Instagram at Rainbow Goodness _.
You forgot your own identity, huh?
Yeah. Sorry. I saw a picture of Max Caster, got distracted.
There we go. And Bryan.
At the Bryan Adkins.
Awesome. We'll be back again on Sunday, July 30th for Sunday Takedown with our latest topics on the WWE. Please be safe, be kind, and until next time, please keep being awesome.